guys, welcome to yet another episode of Conversations with Elena Kimaru. So just a continuation of how to make money online, and on today's video I wanted to talk about the mistakes you should avoid as a newbie freelancer. Damn, I had to learn very hard lessons, and the world out here can be so cruel. So yeah, the world is so open, things have gone online, people are doing a lot of things to get money online, as I already highlighted in article writing, data entry, virtual assistant and all that. So basically these are people you don't meet. These are people you'll find online. These are clients who are looking to outsource jobs. But then how do you avoid, like, sometimes either being conned or something? Because I've been in a situation where I actually lost $230. I had made that particular money in a span of, I think, 4 days, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 4 or 5 days. And just like that, my money disappeared. So today, as I said, I'll highlight some of the mistakes you need to avoid as a newbie freelancer so that you can have a successful freelancing career. And one of the mistakes you need to avoid is the thing about being conned. You know, some people, especially in some particular platforms, like I would say, for my experience, at some point I was working in freelancer.com, and it's a good site, but a review on, from my point of view, I would say it's also one of, like, not, should I call it worst sites ever, especially when it comes to things to being conned and all that. So yeah, I applied for a job, I got the job, and this particular job had like particular terms. I was supposed to do an hourly job, and when you're doing hourly jobs, most of the times there's usually the like a desktop tracker or something, an application that tracks your or logs in your time or whatever you're doing. So it kind of like takes the screenshots of your screen and what you're doing at a particular moment, especially something I think after every 10 minutes or so. And yeah, so that was what the contract said. But then, or the job description. But then when you're talking with this person, the employer, in the chat box, the guy is like, oh, you know, we'll be sending most of the work on email and you're going to pay per word. So the contract is given as per hour, but then he says he's gonna pay per word. So what that means is I can't log in hours, because eventually he's going to pay per word. And then this person, I was very new, by the way, in freelancing. Then this person says I'm going to pay per word, and then he's like, oh, let me send you the work on email. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, why are you sending on email? Just send it here on freelancer.com. And the guy is like, no, because we don't use freelancer.com so much, we prefer email because it's faster. I was just, I don't know, should I call myself dumb? I think I was so new and I didn't know, lack of experience anyway. Yeah. So I started doing the jobs, and this person was from Australia, and of course I'm from Kenya, and we are like 10 or something hours apart. And the jobs used to have like deadlines, and it was like long types of jobs. Like the person wants like 3,000 words, 4,000 words, and you know, when you're still so fresh, and I knew how to write, but then I wasn't as fast. So 3,000 words or 4,000 words would take me long. It would take me so long to finish, you know. And then the guy is like, oh, within the next 24 hours you're supposed to have submitted the job. And funny thing is that immediately you get the assignment, the clock starts ticking, and when you submit it immediately, hata kama ni Kenyan time, it's night time, the client sends the work and then the clock starts ticking. So if they send it at say for example 12 a.m, you're supposed to be going to bed, but then the clock has started ticking for you. Will you go to bed or will you work? Trust me, at some point I think I was so fatigued by the time I was quitting that job and losing all my money. Yeah, so that's how I was conned. And what happened is, within like a span of 7 days, you're supposed to start your contract on Monday, and then by Tuesday you'll be paid for, you're supposed to have done like 21,000 words. But then my contract started on a Thursday, and by Monday the following week, I did know that, and the terms are not so clear. So Monday the following week, I'm like, yo, I'm submitting, I'm submitting no, I submitted on a Tuesday because they said they're paying on a Tuesday. So I had done 18,000 words by Monday, and by Tuesday I had done 23,000 words. Where that was a marathon. Then the guy's like, oh no, we can't pay you. You should have done at least 21,000 words by Monday. So you see, the contract was not so clear how these things work. So it was not that specific. I was like, okay. So I'm like, but by Tuesday I've already done by the 23,000 words. Is like, no, by Monday is when you are supposed to do 21,000. So because you had done 18, we can't pay you. What we will do, we will wait for next week so that we can combine the two jobs, and then we will pay you. And then I was like, okay. So that's when I sat myself down. I was like, I have not been sleeping. This person has refused to pay me. So how do we build trust? And literally, we are not working on the platform. He's sending me the work on email. I do the work, I send him on email. So there's no even like a history of jobs done on the platform because I'm not sending him the work on the platform. I was like, yeah, I'm very foolish. So I decided, though it was so hard, I was like, you know what, you need to decide. You need to actually quit this work. You might do right now like another whole week's work thinking you'll be paid. But who tells you that this guy will pay you? And especially when I texted him that on email, this person now kind of got rude and all that. I was like, why are they being rude? So for me, that became another now a red flag. I was like, why are they being rude? They should have just paid anyway, and then we can continue from there. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna work for you. So I told him, if you're not paying me, I'm not gonna work another week to wait until you pay me. So I was like, nikiwork another week hivi, I'm gonna lose like maybe almost 50,000, and my sleep, my energy, and I'm fatigued. So I quit. Look at this client. Do you know what they did? They went on Freelancer, they logged in, they went and gave me a bad review. They were like, this is the worst freelancer ever. And of course I had worked a little bit also with some few other clients who had left very good reviews. So he went and left a very bad review, despite the fact that he had not paid me. I had given him very quality work for 5 days, or I don't know, for those days, 23,000 words. He was supposed to pay me 23,000 bob, Kenyan shillings. And now he's gone ahead to give me a bad review, say the way I am a bad freelancer, I have changed the terms of the contract midway, I don't know, I want to be paid and all that. And I was like, excuse me? Yeah. So what happened, I was taken aback because I didn't expect that to happen. I was like, this person is so entitled. What's wrong with them? I've already lost sleep, I've already lost my energy, he's not paying me, and if I continue working with him the next week, I'm not even sure I'm gonna be paid. I just contacted support and I told them my story, and they were like, okay, you know what, we're going to take down the review, but next time never work with people outside the platform. So that was one of the biggest mistakes I did when I began my freelancing journey, and I would not recommend that, especially if you're working on a platform. I think that for me was very important for me to share so that you can actually relate. So if you've not built rapport, don't work off the platform. Sometimes some clients want you to work off the platform, but I wouldn't recommend. I would rather you pay that commission to a platform, but the platform will ensure that you actually get your money, because there's something called escrow. That's like sort of security when you set a contract or something, and then if it's like a fixed job, they hold the money in escrow. Or if it's an hourly, when you're logging in the hours, the amount keeps calculating and adding up by the hour, by the hour, by the hour. So if you're like charging $5 per hour, in 2 hours you get like $10, and it's guaranteed, it's in your account, you know. Yeah. Or you can actually see it's here, it's increasing. So don't work off platforms, not unless you're working with a direct client, you've been referred to by someone. And I would also say, with direct clients, ask for a deposit. Like a deposit could be like they pay like 20% or 50% before you deliver the work, or as you begin the work, or something like that, you know. So yes, if you're working on the platform, don't get off the platform if you don't know this person well, or if you're not built rapport. And then if you're not working on a platform, you're working with a direct client, let them pay a deposit, you know, because if you don't do, sometimes some clients, after you've like submitted the work, they're like, yeah, I got the work, what else can you do? And they go ahead and publish your work and they don't pay you. So these are things you might encounter while you're starting your freelancing career online. And then something else I think most freelancers do, like you over promise. You're like, yeah, I can handle this task, this and that, I'm qualified, I have 3 years experience, and maybe you're lying, and then you get a task and you over promised, but you are doing like low quality work and delivering substandard work. Please, if you don't know how to do something, don't position yourself as an expert yet you don't know. I would say take your time, learn as much as you can, and then once you're really good, and experiment here and there. Once you're good enough, or you feel competent enough, or you feel confident in a task, then you can go ahead and apply for a job. Don't apply for a job that you know for sure you won't be able to deliver what is expected. And then that goes for like don't send plagiarized work, don't send like substandard work, because I feel like at some point initially when I started working online, because I didn't know about tools like Copyscape, especially as I talked about in another video. Copyscape helps you check for plagiarism, and I didn't know that. So I think there was a time I submitted a job, although I was working for some Kenyan writer, but now that was the beauty of it. For me, I was lucky, because if I was working with a client, maybe I would have been fired. But since I was working with this person, they were able to like check it for me, and they're like, you know what, this plagiarism, you need to change this and that and all that. That was what got me off the hook. But then, as I said, don't send plagiarized work. You are letting down your client and yourself, and you won't be paid. Then you also need to ensure that you actually don't delay with the client's work. Some people, they are given, and I have also done this myself at some point. I have been given a job and maybe I missed out. For me, I think the one thing I did when I was given a particular writing job, I read the instructions, and I don't know how that I missed out one of the instructions that I was supposed to send at a particular time. So for me, I saw the day, but I didn't see the time. Always check for instructions and don't delay with the work. If you're supposed to send the client the work on 1st of January, make sure that you send, actually I would say even send a day before, or even 2 if you are able to, because if you don't do that, then you're inconveniencing your client, and also you're not positioning yourself as somebody who is reliable, somebody who can do work. Because quality is not just about the things you write or the things you do, it's about even how prompt you are. Are you good at keeping time, or you are out there and people have to wait for you the whole day? And then maybe and you know, sometimes actually clients could also be like employees of another client, so you are inconveniencing that person, and then they're inconveniencing another one, so we all end up jobless. You get my point? Yeah, so don't do that. And then another thing I have come across in my freelancing career, and especially also when I was working with freelancer, I think for me, I would say freelancer was good and bad at the same time. I would see a lot of people being given instructions that, oh, if you want to do this job, you have to send us $50, $25. Hey guys, usidanganywe, don't be lied to. There's nothing like ati paying for a job. Those people who are asking you to pay for a job, they are actual scammers. And trust you me, there are so many people looking out for work out here that maybe when they're told to only pay for $25 that is refundable, and you know, they will get this lucrative kind of salary, some people go for that lie. Please don't be that person. There's a lot of things you can make as mistakes, but don't make that one mistake. You're paying $25 zenye wewe mwenye hauna. Maybe you go somewhere and borrow your aunties and uncles, and they're like, yeah, I'll refund you. Yeah, there's a lot of scammers out here, con men and con women, and online it's no different. It's also the same thing. So don't pay for jobs. So as I said, there's people out here waiting to con you. There's people out here waiting to rip you off. Don't get ripped off. And yeah, so as a newbie, please I would say be reliable. Avoid mistakes like delaying with work, you know. Avoid mistakes like not getting a deposit when you start your work. Avoid mistakes like working off of a platform and you don't know these people. Not unless you've built rapport, I would say. Avoid some of these common mistakes. So I hope this video has been insightful to you. Don't be like me. Don't get conned $230. That's a lot of money. I almost cried. Yeah, anyway, I hope the video has been insightful, and until the next video, adios.